lot of other videos have already talked about multiple streams of income like passive income, crypto money, or a bunch of side hustles, and we will definitely talk about those. But first, before we can put money in the stock market or other investments, we need to pay our bills. And so for the most of us, we have an active stream of income, and this could be our 9-to-5 job. I am a software engineer by day, and in this video, stick around to learn how to multiply your income in your chosen career. Hello everyone, and welcome to Darmaine's Day, where we talk travel, lifestyle, and how I fund them. It's 2022 and talking salary is still taboo, but not us. Let's talk salary. Full disclaimer, I can see and understand why it can be uncomfortable knowing your workmate's salary. Firstly, it can be awkward and there can be comparisons and judgments. Why is Bob earning more than me when I do more X, Y, Z? And honestly, that is a problem for our managers, so good luck and all the best, boss. That was a joke. Please do not fire me. But in all seriousness, the purpose of this video is to give insights and to normalize talking about salaries so that we all have an indication on where we should be, where we want to go, and what other people are earning. So the first tip to multiply your income is to have industry insights. In your current field of work, can you earn more? If the answer is no, then it is a good time to think about other streams of income, and if this is something you want to talk about, let me know in the comments down below. However, if the answer is yes, I can earn more and I want to know how, keep watching. A part of knowing your industry is knowing the different levels of proficiency or expertise in your role. So as an example, as a software engineer, the basic levels are a graduate, junior, mid, senior,
2,000 years later.
Levels of management, chief technology officer, and beyond. So I'm sure you have a similar level of proficiency in your industry, and with this, it's important to know where you're at because it will help with where you want to get to next. Some of the tools I use to find these insights is Glassdoor, but the thing with that is that it's not always representative of the current market because it includes the average of all historical data. So what I do now is usually go to job searching websites and window shop. So I'm not really applying for jobs, I'm just trying to get the feel of the current market. So where I go to here in Australia is seek.com.au. Just type in Senior React Engineer, and there you can see the current job ads and how much companies are willing to pay, and this just gives me an idea of the current market. So now that you have insights in your industry, I want to reiterate, know your level of proficiency because this gives you an indication into your next jump. And yes, I said jump, not steps, we jump. The next step is to do your job well and to make sure that it's recognized, or what I call visibility. This step is very tricky because you don't want to go around telling everyone how great you are because it might rub people off the wrong way, and that is the complete opposite of what we're trying to achieve here. For this principle, you have to let your work speak for itself, and that means delivering quality work and exceeding expectations. At this day and age, you can learn anything and everything. Whatever you don't know now, you can figure it out. Just gotta have that right attitude and motivation. So you're doing well, smashing out your goals. Now the next part of visibility is that they know. And by they, I meant your direct manager, his manager, your teammates, and basically the rest of your team. This means that you have a good relationship with the people you work with. I mean, if you're miserable in your team, why would you even be there? If you don't like what you're doing, it shows, and that has an overall effect to your performance. So after 6 months in that graduate role, it's when my team really recognized my work, and that is when I got my first promotion. So my increase went from $60,000 to 83,000 Australian dollars. Side note, when I talk about salary, 10% of that income goes into superannuation, and that is just our retirement fund. So every salary that I mentioned is before tax and including 10% super. So the key takeaway here is that in the earlier years of your career, promotions and upskilling are the key factors to increasing your income. But also at this stage, do not tie salary to your worth. Sometimes you do get bad managers and the company just do not have the capacity. So in these earlier years of your career, focus on improving your skills and continuously learning and improving. So now you're confident with your skills and you know you can deliver. It's time to negotiate. What really inspired me to create this video is this post from Lily Cunnings, and it says, "Please talk salary with your friends and peers. I asked for 100k, received a phenomenal offer at 120k, then realized everyone was getting paid 150k. This post really resonated with me because I got the exact same experience. And you know, at the time I was like, wait, what? Like, I've been a mid developer longer than he did. He just got a promotion and he got more than I did. Thought about it, talked to some friends, mentors, and set that one-on-one meeting with my lead. Coming into that one-on-one with my lead, I was really prepared and level-headed, and I really just wanted to ask two things. The first question was, why? And the second question is, what else can I do in my current role so that I can also get an increase in pay? But the key thing here is that I took that action to raise it with my lead. In this case, however, I think waiting would have been good because my lead told me that everyone was going to get a bump. Oopsies. And so my pay went from $83,000 per year to 109 Australian dollars per year. So in terms of negotiating your salary, I think the key times would be your promotion and also your performance review. So in that same year that I got the 109,000 pay rise, instead of the typical 2% pay rise, I got the 5% pay increase, and that bumped me up to 115,000 per year. And again, in that example with performance review negotiation, that is when I was able to back it up with the value and the contributions that I was putting into the team. And at the same time, it's also about putting that extra effort in terms of writing down and discussing and highlighting the awesome things that you have done and how you've met these criteria in your KPIs or performance review. So I guess my point is, back it up with the value that you provide in your team and in the company, and hopefully you do not overvalue or undervalue your contributions and skill set. But the first and foremost thing is you have to ask. You have to start that conversation, and if you do not ask, then you'll never know the answer. So you've tried to negotiate and the answer is not we will try, or the company just couldn't do it, and it was a straight up no. The fourth and final tip on how to multiply your income is to move on with a purpose. If you find a different company who is willing to pay you more for your current skills and the same responsibilities, then why not? Although I will say that this is one of the most critical and could be the hardest part, because you want to find that balance between being stuck into that one company and moving around too much or job hopping. And so I said that as my biggest lesson learned in terms of moving on, because I admit I think I might have done it way too much. Let's break it down. So after almost 3 years of working as a software engineer there, I decided to move on. And because that opportunity had a lot more budget, because they're just starting up their new team, I had a pay increase to $125,000. And then I moved on to another company and got a senior developer role promotion, and this is when I earned $154,000 per year. Obviously, the next step in my head was to be a lead developer. So at that time, I thought I was ready to be a lead developer, take it to the next level. And so I took the offer, and that's when I earned $170,000 per year. I'm at the ceiling, I could possibly earn more. What's next? Solution architect, I don't really want to do it. So that is when I started looking at other streams of income, and that is also when I found out I could actually earn more, but in a different role. So here we have the permanent full-time job. And what's really hot in Australian market right now is contracting. The main difference is, as a contractor, if you do not work, you don't get paid. So public holidays, sick leaves, annual leaves, you don't get paid. But it definitely pays more than a full-time job because the risks are there. So after much thought and calculating my risk, I decided to pursue contracting. Got an offer, got a job, so my annual income has increased from $170,000 as a lead developer to $200,000 as a senior software engineer. So I guess the point of what I'm trying to make is that you don't always have to keep getting promoted in order to increase your salary. Sometimes there are different types of jobs like contracting that will allow that, but that will depend on your risk appetite. Even though I reached what I thought was the ceiling contracting role, I was not happy in that job, and so I left that job and took a lesser contract at $187,000. But if there is one key takeaway from this tip, and one of the biggest lessons that I learned, is do not chase money. Don't change jobs just to earn more. Make sure that you also love what you are doing and you want to be part of the team that you're joining. But then I applied the first 3 principles in the same job. But luckily I didn't have to move on, and I was back up to where I was, that is over $200,000 a year. Now that 200K is just a rough estimate depending on how much annual leave I take in the next year. And now this breakdown of my salary is in no way to brag about how much I'm earning now. I mean, there's a part of me who's kind of worried that my workmates will see this and what will they think. But I really just want to start that conversation and be visible about how you can progress and get salary increases, and give you an idea on how you can achieve this in a certain timeline. I really hope you enjoyed this video today and that you have learned something, and I will see you in the next video.